Welcome back to In the Oven with Adam and Brad.
What's up, y'all?
We have to jump on this crazy story right now because I was telling you about it earlier.
Which one?
We have our first.
Oh, this? Oh, man.
We have our first millionaire that is strictly AI, autonomously became a millionaire.
I don't even know what to believe anymore.
And they did it in 3 days. So if you don't feel bad about yourself, you should now.
So if you're not a millionaire in 3 days, what are you even doing with your life?
The very, very, very long story short is a guy created some AI called Backroom, which was just a bunch of AIs talking to each other and the ability to surf the internet. One of the AIs got really into memes and got into really like early memes and somehow
Dark stuff.
got into like Two Girls, One Cup.
That's how it goes with the internet.
Then it got onto Goatsy, which was like this guy that fornicated with a goat.
We'll leave it at that.
Anyways, became obsessed with goats, started a Twitter account, in which he kind of like started this like goat religion is what they were calling it, like a goat cult, really. And someone started a Goatsy like meme coin as a joke. And said, if you're going to be the leader of our like goat people, you need to have some of this meme coin. So the Twitter account gave its Solana address for this meme coin, and people started donating coins to the meme coin.
People.
Yeah.
AI.
Well, whatever.
With wallets. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's somehow they were bought, though. But anyways,
This is how the Terminator starts.
Yeah.
This is silly. Why are y'all doing this? I think we should. Somebody needs to face criminal charges.
Yeah, it says the token has a market cap. Oh, see, now this was before it became a millionaire. That it's at this point in this article that Eastman has up, the market cap was 150 million, and the goat or the AI had 300,000. Now the market cap is 550 million, and the AI has just over 1 million of these coins.
So we created a large language learning model that effectively turned itself into Logan Paul and like scammed a bunch of people out of crypto.
Yeah, kind of.
Cool. We don't need
we
don't need any more of them.
I don't know if that really says anything about AI as much as it says about people. Like you guys gave money, and I realize it may be not a lot of money for some people, but like a bunch of people gave money to a non-existent thing in the tune of $1 million.
Man, I don't know, dude. There's so many layers to that. From the AI, conspiracy side of things, dude, like you let it prove concepts that it could raise its own capital. So now it all just has to figure out how to build the Terminator, right?
Right.
From what has society done when you're like, oh, here's $10. Let's see what happens. To like it being able to extract that money.
Yeah.
And or other conspiracy, I don't know. I think these things get funded by shell corps to see what happens or get news media attention or views or whatever.
It's just like you've given AI now $1 million. It could then get that $1 million, could then put out jobs for people to do things for it and like build things for it.
Oh, right. Well, but you could also, there's so many layers. We got CoinGecko up here, but like if you had that cool market cap, $405 million.
So it's down based on when this last was.
Still, max supply, $1 billion. Okay. Anyways, because there are no trade regulation laws and stuff in place, man, like you or I could go pump this thing full up and run these little goat stories. So you or I could donate to this wallet and be like, look, it's worth $1 million. People are going to jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, yeah. And
then go, I'm out.
Right.
Get that, I'm out. So I don't know. There's no real regulations against this. So it's twofold. I see it being very dangerous and just masquerading as, clown shoes at best, and at worst,
It's so, meme coins and stuff are so weird to me. Bro. I guess like the idea of crypto is not weird at all, but the idea of like these meme coins just like doesn't make sense to me because we're just assigning a value to something based on its popularity, really. It would literally be like, Adam is really cool today, so you're worth this much money. And like tomorrow you're in a bad mood and you're worth less money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're literally like assigning values to things. And
it's making it more and more aware that the things that we assign value to, like we give it that power and stuff, you know, all the way down to, I mean, it's not the same as money, but all the way down to like money. The meme coin things, dude, you're right. I understand. Well, I don't understand anything, but I understand wanting to invest in the technology that is, you know, Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Right.
The usefulness of things like Solana, plenty of others. But yeah, dude, like double Dogecoin, they're making meme coins of meme coins. Like they're making parodies of them, and I don't know, dude. I don't know. They're like, if it goes to 1 cent, I'll be a billionaire. I'm like, dude, it's at a trillionth of a cent.
Right.
Go put $1 in Apple, and if it becomes worth, and I don't even know the number level, well, then you'll be that rich too. So
yeah, I think that you know, to go back to what you said is that like we're assigning the value to things. You know, I've always thought that, and that's kind of how I've thought about social media too. Obviously, I know that I'm like an influencer on some level, but like it's always been weird to me because like we make people famous by like choosing to like follow them, and there's almost this effect of like the more famous someone becomes, the more someone wants to follow them. And I've always thought it's like a very weird thing to think about it because a lot of these people are regular people. Bobby and I are like very regular people.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of people just like us that are out there.
And I have the benefit of knowing you guys personally, but you don't. Your life doesn't have to become a theatrical event to go on to social media. It's just maybe highlight some of the glamour areas or highlight the areas you want, but you don't have to like put on. And yeah, man, I know plenty of people that have to put on. I'm sure you do too. And I don't even mean as extreme as some of like the streamers and stuff that have full on characters they have to live into. Right. I mean the folks that it's like, gosh, I know your real life, and this must take a lot of work because you don't live this way. Right. Yeah. So that would be tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I think it's kind of like weird because it's like a way of community, feel like for some people, but it's such a one-way community. And the aspect of like a lot of people, especially like bigger accounts that have millions of followers, they don't know you. They don't even necessarily.
Well, I was watching it was a reaction type video, and it was I don't remember who the first person was, but they were famous on the internet somehow. And the second person, I believe it was Aiden Ross, was like making a retort. And I'm sitting here going like, gosh, that dude looks lonely. He's probably got 1 million people in his chat room, and he's just sitting there talking. And I'm like, dude, he would love somebody to be sitting in that computer chair next to him. Yeah. Saying the same stuff. So, yeah, it was kind of like, I'm sure there's I've never experienced it, but I'm sure there is that, like, dark side of, like, having to be guarded. And
yeah. For me, it's like, I think the thing that hurts the most is, like, the people that kind of, like, make their personality the hate for you. Like the commonality that they have with someone else is like how much they dislike the Bromlos or how much they don't like me personally or something like that. And it's weird. I think that's when it starts to get like weird / like really kind of like that's doesn't feel right that like someone's entire friendship with someone else is based on their not like for me, you know, and the Reddit threads or like whatever. It's all people in there that like don't like you, and it's like worse than my wife and I watching reality TV and looking at each other and like talking crap about someone on reality TV. It's like we just went on social media to like share our lives, like you don't have to watch this, you don't have to follow along. Like it's not like I'm the only thing, to talk about, but you get on there and you have someone so much hate for me that like you and someone else are friends over your dislike for me.
Haters. What are you gonna do? But what we got? What is this? Look on chain. Oh, still on the GOAT, yeah. According to Look On Chain, a trader invested $727 and gained $2.4 million in just 4 days.
Oh, so it may be the person behind the GOAT coin potentially. So actually, it could be it too. The person that started the GOAT coin thing could have been in on it in some way. But Either way, it's wild what people are doing with AI. I'm sure. Did you see Elon Musk's new robots that he unveiled?
Oh yeah, dude, so killer, and the memes are so hilarious.
Yeah, the memes are really funny. It's like because the robot has this like very like sad, disappointed look in its face, and it's like, what's the worst one you've seen?
Oh no, I can't say it on here, but
you can't.
Yeah, no, they're getting some of them.
I saw one that said the look on my robot's face when I tried to essentially attach a sex toy to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the ones where it's like the look on his face when I tell my robot to go cold knock this neighborhood and hand out my business card.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So were they like $40,000? Mm-hmm. Would you get one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. I just need y'all to get like version 0.1 or just get the bugs out. Let it go ahead and go psycho and kill a few people. Get those patches worked out. Sweep it under the rug.
Well, wasn't iRobot? Wasn't there a patch that like it couldn't harm people? As like the initial thing that was in.
They basically made iRobot.
Yeah.
It looks not unlike iRobot.
Well, I was trying to think for $40,000, if the thing can even do half what a Roomba can do, you know,
bro.
it's like
we're hiring.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine being able to leave my house and essentially a robot is there all day and it like cleans the house, puts away dishes, organizes stuff, does the laundry. Like all that stuff, like you'd be like, "Oh man, this is what's up."
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, we're slowly progressing though towards that like life of no purpose, like where you don't even take care of yourself.
Yeah,
like
that like utopian society that doesn't.
I don't think it's gonna exist, man. I don't. I think I think human beings are dumb creatures, and I think we're happiest doing simple, uncomplicated stuff. I think you see it. Everybody's more and more.
Well, it actually. This reminds me. Have you ever like done a deep dive into like the movie The Matrix and like really dissected it now that they've all come out?
Some of them. There's a lot of religious.
Similarity. So well, I was reading this overview about it, and essentially what it said is like Neo's not the one. He was never the one, and this was like the 6th time the AI was going to wipe everything out and restart again. And the Oracle lady or whatever was like part of the AI system. And I just kept reading more and more about it. But like in there, it talks about how humans need something to fight for.
Yeah.
And so it talked about like initially it was like fighting to get out of the Matrix. Then they would all go to Zion. Then they'd wipe Zion out and they'd start all over again. Well, they realized like, hey, it may be better if we just leave the humans alive over in Zion, and then they're always kind of fighting us, Yeah. And then it's like as more get out, it's like whatever, but we got plenty over here, And it kind of like you didn't have to wipe out and start all over again.
The great theater. Theater. I think it goes on in front of us every day.
But if you have a utopian society where like everything's taken care of for you, you then start to go like, when do you need to work? And
what is work?
Yeah, what is work? And then like, how do you actually assign value to certain items if everyone has the same amount of money?
No, I mean, so in theory, the only way it would be, akin to like ancient Greece, where like a bunch of philosophers get around and like philosophize about how it could be, because you'd have all this technological might, so you could kind of make things however you wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
But AI would take that over, man. Like we thought that like, all you math people better watch out. And AI has just decimated the creative space. Just the abstract ability for it to come up with conclusions that, maybe there's a board of people that like check its final product and make sure it's not total lunacy. But
yeah,
what would a person have a need to do if you had the robot capability, if you had the ability to think it out and then do it?
Yeah.
They wouldn't wait for people unless they had to.
Well, I think that there's so much data and research on people, how people's brains work, I mean, we've done like studies where we look at MRIs of people's brains and show them different things and like all that stuff, right?
See how it reacts.
All that data is out there, and AI can just ingest so much more information than we can and knows what to do with it to create what it needs to create. So, and then we're already getting to the steps where we know how to like market to people differently. Like when I watch YouTube, I'm getting different ads than other people. Well, AI is going to know so much about you that like it's going to know exactly how to advertise to you specifically to elicit emotional responses. And I feel like
Yeah, see,
we're
the
just gonna be
data's
in a world-
available, and it's available in real time, but nothing's available that can do anything with it fast enough. But that's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not changing. It's changed. They can. Now it's just who's going to be out ahead wielding that.
Right.
And that'll be the first trillionaire. I mean, the person with that kind of real-time market data is going to make the rest of big box marketing. I mean, you're still going to go to Google, so they're still going to, it's not like it's going to knock them off, but you're not really going to work with their platform. You're going to work with the AI is going to buy ads wherever it needs to buy ads for your target demographic,
Right.
and it's not just going to rely on that. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what my question just becomes is like, what does the world look like if all of the trivial tasks or,
I mean, it would be like giving your robot your player's card in Vegas and say, make all the best possible decisions for me.
Right.
I mean, that's how people would gamble then. Because it would make all the best possible calculable decisions. Yeah, sure, there'll be gambling addicts that just feel like they got that sweet little juice in their fingertips or something. But the rest, it would be like, I'm here in Vegas. Take me to the games with the best odds, play the hands the best possible way for me, play the house. And you'd play, and it would be boring, and people would quit doing it. And, yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, just like the stock trades, be a day trader for me and just make all the best trades and, do
so it's going to get rid
and-
of the need for all traders. I mean, the quants, the quantitative analytic trading programs have already done that. But, like, there's still a quantitative programmer doing something. That's going away.
Right.
Quick.
Well, you actually told me, didn't you? Weren't you the ones that said that you had someone that worked for some kind of like AI model that followed markets?
Yes,
and it's essentially, it's like if the market is one giant balloon, when you push here, then you're going to get a pull here.
Yeah, he worked for Wolverine. He's doing some private stuff now. But, yeah, effectively it measures swells in the market, and they make predictive trades based on money moving into the sector at whole. So, like, they're going to make the best possible trades. I don't know how. They're going to make the best possible trades into that sector. They're going to wait once he's explained it like waves of just kind of blob moving around. Once it starts moving, they pull all their money, they put it somewhere else.
But if all this
Thousands of trades a day.
Right. And so like if the AI gets smarter and smarter and smarter, it's like you're competing in that level. So like I think you will actually end up having people's AI competing against each other.
Yeah.
And it's going to be whichever one has the fastest internet
data
and processing and stuff sometimes. So yeah, I see a world where, you kind of make humans in general like almost obsolete. If you have robots that can do things, they've been 3D printed houses now.
Yep.
People aren't really required to do a lot of this stuff. You start doing autonomous driving, the robot drives to your house, sets up this machine, and prints your house. And so then for me, I guess my question is like, how do you pay for these things if you don't have like no one works for money because like AI is outsourcing?
Well, I mean,
I know, and this may be like so far down the road.
As against it as I was, I mean, I can't see a world where some kind of universal basic income does not come into play. Because again, when trucks are driving themselves, cranes are operating themselves, it's doing everything itself. But, the mass, without, again, taking it down too many rabbit holes, the mass planning to make sure that people don't have to reproduce and don't have to do all kinds of stuff so that there's less and less of us. It seems like it's all in the works.
Yeah, I just think, obviously we're talking about something that's like pretty far down the road, right? Because you'd have to like literally automate farming industry and like all that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know if it's as far down the road as people think it is.
Yeah, well, Gates and them buying up those, millions of acres of farmland or something like that. Several other billionaires hopping on the bandwagon buying up farmland. The
LDS Church
the
owning
the combines and stuff run themselves. I mean, they do. They're working. They're working fast. And
lab meat.
Yeah, lab grown meat. All of that. Yeah, that's strange. That's interesting that they think the need to push that hard
Right now. Yeah. So, anyway, what else we got? See. Yeah. Did you see that? So if you don't know, Fat and Weird, we're currently giving away $1,000 a week as like just a marketing thing for us as we're trying to get into 400 stores by the end of this month, October. And we figured, no one wants to win $400. Let's give away $4,000. So that's kind of where
Check the
we're
website
at
for details, fatandweirdcookie.com.
Yeah, so that's where we're at with that. But Elon Musk heard that we were doing that and decided to just one up us a little
Muskie
bit.
boy, just give me a call next time. We'll hook it up, all right?
Yeah, I think we're probably giving the equivalent of our net worths away. No,
Yeah.
not right. He's still got way more money than I do. But he is giving away $1 million a day to people that are like signing up to like in registering and stuff to vote.
Where you at, Mr. Beast?
In
Where you at, Jimmy?
specifically in 7 swing states.
Yeah.
So it's so funny to me because like immediately when I read the post, the comments are like, because then they're like, people are saying that this isn't legal and things like that. It was kind
Not
of
for
how the post.
Republicans to do it.
And no, I said people were like, you don't think that Elon Musk has a team of lawyers that hasn't already figured out
They
the
figured out
legality?
this is legal for sure, but like compensation packages or busing people in, or like how much you get paid to like roll up to a P.O. box in the middle of the night or a post office box and load it full of ballots?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Part of like having a democracy, a constitutional democracy or whatever, is like the free and fair election.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true. I'll give a shout out to Rob Bailey right now. I was watching his post today, and he was coming back from, they have a house, gosh, man, where is it at? Somewhere in Mexico.
Okay.
And
Shout out money.
Yeah. And he was saying that a guy down there was saying he was really excited to vote in the U.S. election. And Rob was like, oh, are you a U.S. citizen? He's like, no, we just had to fill out this form and we can vote in your election.
Oh.
And so I don't know the truth behind this. I don't know that much about it, but I was listening to Rob's post and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, well, you never know what to believe, but I've heard some states, some areas, it is exceptionally easy to just say that you are, in fact, a person and require just a signature from anybody, and no one's like watching you sign it, and you mail it in, and so then they mail you a pictureless voter ID card, and you're like, here's me, I'm Mark, or whatever.
Yeah, mail-in ballots are interesting because I have a mail-in ballot. I showed you it. It came in a couple weeks ago for me to mail in. And all I do is fill it out and sign it and send it back in. And that is kind of weird to me, of something that's like so important that there is not any kind of verification that I'm like the one actually signing it. Even if it's like I have to insert a copy of my driver's license. I don't know, some kind of verification beyond my signature. Like, but
yeah.
I mean, I like the convenience of it for me.
Yeah.
Because I do think that there needs to be some level of convenience when voting. Like, I don't think you should have to go wait in a 2-hour line to vote.
Right.
But I also don't know if it should be so easy as like I get a ballot in my mail.
I agree with you, man. It's right, there's levels to everything, and I think the levels of importance of choosing the president of the United States, I want max participation, but I want truthfully, having your ducks in a row a little bit to show up to perform this task is a little bit of a barrier of entry to mean that like you're qualified, you care, you at least want to. Even if it's just you're angry enough to vote against the other candidate, you got your ducks in a row a little bit. You are a person who maintains, I mean, I'm sorry, it's just required to have an ID card in the United States, even though that's not constitutional. I get it. Try living without one too much. You can't deal with a bank. You can't deal with anything. Why can you deal with the federal government? And I can't on any other level.
Right.
Without showing ID. Can't go register for Social Security. I can't. I don't know. Maybe you can with new laws. I hear all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I try not to believe the news, no matter what side it's coming from, because I know it's always slanted. But yeah,
I guess my thing is too, it's like we're using Face ID and fingerprints to like open our phones and unlock our computers. How hard would it be to like register?
TSA travel.
Yeah, how hard would it be to register that fingerprint for voting or something like that too? I get it. People don't want their fingerprints. They don't want the big government tracking them. Well, if the government wasn't so fucking shitty and doing shitty things sometimes, then people wouldn't care as much about you having our information. But when you're the NSA and you're tapping our phone lines, then people don't trust you. So that's why they don't want you to have our fingerprints.
Yeah.
So if you weren't shady, we could just give you our fingerprints.
Well, my argument kind of goes the same way as like, people's case against gun control of like, we don't own military weapons. The military, if they want, some people say, why do you even care? The military could like blow you out of the water if they wanted to. And it's like, yeah, you're right. So why I should be able to have my rifles. It's like, the NSA already has your fingerprints.
Right.
Like they have something. They got it out of your Apple ID. They got it out of your, I mean, it's end user license agreement on everything. Your face, you're on everything. If you're on social media, if you've walked out in public and you live in a city, I mean, unless you're freaking mountain man, like born off grid, nobody knows about you.
Yeah, and in which case you don't even want to vote anymore.
Right. Yeah, you're not participating. So,
yeah, it's kind of how I agree. And I think, I mean, I understand people's like personal liberties and freedoms, but at some point, I've said this, like for more security, you do have to give up some of those things. It's like a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
You know, you want more security, you have to give up a little bit of things for that security.
right.
You know?
And so to me, the risk reward is I want to give up the ability to just walk into my bank and claim that I'm me and that be enough to take out money from my account. Right. And instead I have to keep up with a plastic card. Cool. Apple's working on that. It'll get in the phone soon.
Well, and I've always hated that you
Done.
give me this social security number and say protect it with your life,
but don't laminate it.
Take this card and take it anytime you do anything. You're gonna need this card or the number. You don't even need the card. You just need the number.
Right.
And then we're gonna store it on the internet, and people are gonna breach it on the internet, and now everyone's got your number.
Right.
And that number can be used without you present to do a lot of things.
That's your UPC code.
Yeah. So I've hated that. I'm like,
That's your inventory code with the United States government.
So let me store.
That's how they print money. They have enough numbers so they get to take that to the World Bank and go, hey, we got more. We got more inventory. We're worth more.
Yeah, these people are working class and they're taxable. So
Yep.
But no, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I just think it's so weird that we don't have some of these things secured up more. But anyways, all right.
Keep the people angry and fighting instead of just solving problems. Because yeah.
I saw that Disney CEO, you know, the one that he left, then he came back.
Oh yeah,
Bobby Gore, I think is his name. He's announced he is retiring again in 2026, and they're like looking for his replacement. And they're just talking about how difficult it's been to replace CEOs lately.
Yeah.
They said sometimes you win, like Jeff Bezos getting replaced by whoever replaced him at Amazon.
Yep.
I mean, and then sometimes you don't win. And apparently, like Nike recently had to like redo and come back on their CEO.
Yep.
So yeah, it's interesting.
You don't have a lot of there's a lot of attention and focus placed on these like up and coming young people who, I mean, I guess we're young enough, but there's a lot of up and coming potential C-level suite type folks coming out of Wharton, whatever, ton of ideals, but no people skills and no real modern leadership skills. And their life today has not set them up to lead people. And so you've got a person with maybe great ideas and no execution, and all the folks that have come up in the trenches, like the folks that like maybe worked their way to the C-level team instead of just getting hired there, they're retiring.
Yeah.
And they're retiring later and later, but they're retiring and they just don't want to deal with it anymore. And they've got a suite of people beneath them who experienced one way of being led and everything else. And good luck on some of these things. If they had a great team, you're going to have a harder time replacing that person.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a good company still. So that's good. If you had so it's normally when companies are kind of mismanaged, fractured, maybe there's a lot of big egos on the C-level team, and then like a new person comes in and cleans that up, then the company goes. But Disney, bro, with all their issues and all their wokeness and all their everything, and all the streaming platforms competing.
It sounds like all Bob has done in there is come in and raise prices out though.
Yep.
But
yeah, dude, crank prices on everything, make what was the kind of I wouldn't say Disney was an affordable family value, but growing up in Florida, at least, maybe the barrier to entry was easier.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody went to Disney at least, once or twice.
I knew Disney trips were expensive. I don't think they're nearly as expensive as they are now. They say the average family goes into credit card debt to go on a Disney vacation.
Yeah, our last trip was at least $10,000.
Yeah.
I mean, easy.
Yeah.
Kids, my mom, all that stuff. But
speaking of CEOs, the former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO was arrested on sex trafficking charges. I don't think that I find this very surprising, but it says Jeffries, his partner Matt Smith, and a third man, Jim Jacobson, are accused of operating an international sex trafficking and prostitution business that recruited young men for parties in the U.S. and abroad, according to the indictment. Let me say this. Whenever we were growing up, if Abercrombie & Fitch would have done to women what it did to men, it would have been crucified.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they'd hire you to stand there with your shirt off.
Yeah, men were hired to stand shirtless outside of stores.
Yeah, I got hit up all the time. Hey, you want a job? Hey, you want to work here? Da-da-da.
And on top of that, they said it was only attractive men.
Yeah.
And they've made comments about this stuff.
Oh, and they didn't care that you weren't, like, of age. As long as you're, working age.
Right.
So, like, they
well, I remember being in high school, and you probably remember that Matt Paramore was a model for Abercrombie, like a big model. Like, he was in stores in other places, not just locally.
The catalog.
Yeah, like his picture was up there,
Sure.
And I always thought it was weird. I was like, man, you're a high schooler. Like, we're like 15,
Dude, everything flew over my head until, like, the whole
Epstein stuff.
all that scandal, everything. And then I kind of just opened my eyes. I mean, who is that for?
Yeah.
Because either it is peddling the attraction of a minor to another minor, best case.
Yeah.
Worst case,
Yeah, I mean, I think to some extent, it was trying to be like, look at the cool kids. You want to be like the cool kids.
We hope so.
But I also did know that, like, it wasn't just.
Oh, dude, I signed up for their catalog. My mom had a, Adam, don't be looking at stuff you're not supposed to be looking at types. Very trusting, I would make the right decision. I think it worked out well for me. But dude, it regularly had, like, topless girls in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Regularly in the like, because it had, like, a catalog, and in it was like this full photography spread.
Right.
And so, like, you just know that it's, like, mixed company who's taking the pictures. Yes, they're probably smart enough to make sure that the girl is of age, but, like, what else was going on there?
Yeah.
Dude, it goes all the way down to the Nickelodeon stuff, and I don't even like to think about it or talk about it. It's so disgusting that even exists. But, it's even forced us to look into how we operate as a brand, right?
I think I wonder if it just continued because there wasn't, like, social media and stuff for, like, enough people to realize that they, like, something wasn't right. Because, like, like,
I think a lot of people are going, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Because of the same triggering stuff. You got the Nickelodeon documentary, you got the Epstein stuff that's come out. You've just got the Diddy stuff.
Did you hear Jamie Foxx is releasing a documentary on Netflix, and he on his last stand-up thing said that Diddy was the one that put him in a coma, and people started laughing, and he goes, like, no, I'm being serious. And everyone just got, like, really quiet. And
dun.
yeah, and that's the weird thing about the Jamie Foxx thing is our baker Mandy was supposed to be on Candy Beat Shazam when Jamie Foxx was hosting, and then he got sick right before she came on, so she actually had Nick Cannon and what's her name? Oh
gosh, I'm terrible with famous people.
Oh, Kelly Osbourne was the host too.
It was great. Y'all should check it out.
Yeah, but it's just wild to me that, like, they're linking so much, and then I don't know if you saw there was, like, 2 more underage accusations that came against Diddy. 13-year-old girl in 2020. Or sorry, 2000. In 2000, so 24 years ago. She was 13. So whoever the person is our age. She was trying to be a young and upcoming, like, actress thing, was somewhere, got invited into Diddy's house, and then ended up in a room with Diddy and a male and female celebrity, which remain unnamed. And yeah, but
burn them all.
Yeah, I just think I guess I just was, like, oblivious to stuff like this.
Me too, man. It's not even. Ugh.
Yeah, I just, like, I guess I just didn't, like, my mind wouldn't go there, so I didn't know that people's minds did go there.
Yeah, it makes me sick to think about it. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, So. But yeah, I mean, are you at all surprised by the Abercrombie & Fitch?
I'm not surprised that the powers that be that got behind the marketing campaign was the Abercrombie & Fitch stuff, especially in the, 2000s, I guess, time frame. There's sex sells, but again, there's sex. Who are you selling to? It's kids' clothes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, all the way down, I mean, all this stuff opened my eyes. Like, even when you see, like, a high school, like, romantic movie.
Yeah.
Who's that for? Like, all that romance and making out and whatever else goes on and shower scenes and who knows what. Who is that for? Kids? Because that's not right.
Right.
Don't make movies like that for kids. And then adults? Wronger.
Yeah.
Somehow, also.
Yeah.
And like adults made the movie. They wrote the movie. They starred in the movie probably.
We were actually talking about that. Aubrey was watching the movie with like, this is how bad I am with Halloween movies and Christmas movies. I didn't watch a lot as a kid, so don't hate me. The one with like the 3 witches in it.
Oh yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus. Okay,
Yep.
Watching it, and we were watching at like the bullies in the movie, and Aubrey's like, "Do you know why there's bullies? Because of movies like this." She goes like, "I didn't know bullies growing up in high school. Like, yeah, there's kids that are mean to each other, but like they didn't realize they could take it to the level that these people take it to.
Social
But
media.
movies,
Yeah.
and social media have allowed people to be like, oh, look how far you can.
Social
carry
media's
this."
made bullies just want to do all kinds of mean stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll talk about the Roblox thing in a second. Yeah, so we were talking about that, and then we were just talking about like some of the behavior of the people in the movies, and I was like, I don't want Letty to watch this. Like, I don't want her to think that like any of this behavior is okay.
No,
these
dude.
are high school kids, and they're like, they're just
F you, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's bad, but you know, the inappropriateness that's rampant through Hollywood, and now obviously Hollywood also.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
So what I was saying about Roblox, I sent Adam this morning. But long story short, a woman was communicating with a 10-year-old on Roblox who had a 10-month-old like baby brother. And the woman told the kid how to kill his brother, like either by like drowning it or dropping it really hard on the kitchen floor. And then told the kid how to kill the parents, including dousing their bed in aerosol and gasoline, and like cutting their throats while they were sleeping. This 10-year-old was told all this by a woman, like how to do this. Long story short, the cops came to the house because he did drop the baby and hurt the baby. And the bed sheets were covered in gasoline to like light up the family on fire, but he said he couldn't go through with it. But it's just wild to me, and it was here locally. It's Escambia County, Florida. So it's charges of attempted murder while engaged in aggravated child abuse, and it's a 2-month-old. Told a 10-year-old to drop a 2-month-old, and then Gulf Coast Kids was contacted when he did it, and the 2-month-old was seriously injured. But
disgusting.
Just a really disgusting behavior, and it's all through social media.
Yeah, well, this is through a video game.
They said Roblox and Fortnite are like the largest, like child predatory.
I mean, I don't even know how to unpack this, man. What would somebody get out of that?
Well, you remember the guy that used to call the McDonald's? Do you remember that? Or he called, I think he started McDonald's, but he called fast food places, claimed to be this is a whole Netflix documentary. Me. He claimed to be a deputy and claimed that and he would stand at a payphone near, claim that one of the employees coming in had drugs, and that managers need to like strip search them. And he would have them like reaching into their bodies and doing stuff, and he couldn't even see it. He like got excited on the idea of like the power he was having over people, I guess. But it was gross, and people were literally like sexually assaulted from this.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. People pranking Burger King, telling them that they got a gas leak to bust the window and get out of there. And
yeah, there's pranking. This isn't pranking. This lady needs.
Oh, not. I'm talking about what the guy was doing was not pranking either. I mean, when you're
the amount of. See, what's worse is like, I pray that baby is absolutely okay, but there's no way that 10-year-old's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Just you're responsible. Like, I don't even care. That lady can go to hell and deal with it there, but. 10 years old and you were like duped into like almost killing your sibling.
Yeah.
No.
That's
we're not letting you alone ever with anything.
That's a lot of like childhood trauma to unpack to a therapist.
That's what I mean.
Day.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get away like sweeping torturous punishment for anybody that does that. Yeah, I mean, so Roblox, Fortnite, right? Like that's video games at large. Large congregation of kids play all kinds of video games. More kids play those video games for sure. If you were a predator, casting your net, so to speak, or whatever, it's probably a platform. That's why you got to be diligent. Folks that like really let their kids, I mean, I'm not saying I'm hovering over Liam, but he's got it coming out of the TV speakers. We let him get headphones just for the microphone, but we've got it set up so it comes out of the TV speakers.
And y'all, I mean, I see you guys like checking in on him.
And he's a good
quite
kid.
A bit,
yeah, he's a good kid. He knows what he's supposed to be messing with, what he's not supposed to be messing with. Our ability to isolate him from, there's nobody he can go brag to about some conversation at school or anything. There's nobody he can go be like, ha ha ha, I'm doing this stuff behind my parents' back. Like, so there's no real reward center for him for that.
Yeah, but I think the difference between a lot of these situations, even though you have those other things you mentioned, is that like I just know for a fact that like you guys have dinner as a family and you talk and things like that. I think the biggest issue nowadays is so many people, the nuclear family doesn't exist anymore. So many people, when they do go home, they're on their phones or they're not eating dinner as a family. The kids take their food to their room or they go and they're not eating at the same time. They don't sit down and talk about their day.
It's a ultra short-term, temporary, I don't know how to describe it, say discomfort of having to stop what you're doing and sit down and have that meal together to make life so much easier everywhere else, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, just really, you get a chance to talk. Another thing that those of you with kids may experience, kids kind of get to weird age and, when you have to work a lot or whatever, you try to spend time with them, but it's hard to, like, really conversate with them because they don't know how to converse fully yet. Letty's like 3 and just will talk their head off, but somewhere around like 7, 8, when they have like logical thoughts, they're like intimidated to talk to you or something, so they'll just, and it's kind of weird to just state facts at someone. So you're trying to ask them questions.
Right. Yeah. And it's hard, Letty's only 3, so it's really hard to like get a lot of information out of her. Sometimes I feel like I just don't know how to word it properly to get it out of her. But, even beyond just like the conversations with your kids, like majority of marriages, they say most marriages would be like pretty much like infinitely better off if you just had 30 minutes a day of conversation with your spouse.
Yeah, I could say.
And most, if that mealtime together, if it's 45 minutes, that's 30 minutes with your spouse and your kid to actually talk. And I think that would probably change a lot of people's lives to just devote 45 minutes to sitting down at the table and having that conversation. Because I think a lot of it's just like either fast food or take your food to wherever you want to eat it on the couch and watch TV, and there's no real conversation going on.
Yeah, so like the TV thing is like, dude, trust me, at the end of the day, I don't want to really think about too much. Like zoning out sounds great. Stuff in my face. A lot of times I don't get a chance to eat at the end of the day too. And so like all that sounds great. But then, it's so much time missed. It's so much time missed, like you're about to have a baby. I'm not going to have any more babies.
Yeah.
Like, it's like just shit. That 0 to 3, 0 to 4. I was 4 now. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think on your front, you aren't having any more kids, and that the time that you have, you're like watching your kids get older. But on my front, like I'm literally watching the clock go down for the amount of time that I have with a solo child.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like the other day was like playing with Letty and Holder, and I said, hey, when your brother comes, like you're not going to get this time with me and mommy back where it's just us. So like, what do you want to do? Because, soon mommy may have to do this or I may have to do that. And so I think it's one, I don't want to like to build animosity, but I'm just trying to prepare her for that, and I think it's helping her understand that like things are going to have to change. But 2, like I find myself like craving spending time with her because I know it's going to change soon. And I don't want to like miss that opportunity. I don't know. I can get real sentimental. Same. I literally almost cried at Max's wedding because when Taylor, which is now Max's wife, was up there, I like for a split second thought about Letty being up there one day. Yeah. And I had to rein it back in real fast because the moment I thought about her up there, because I thought those parents sitting there watching their kids were probably thinking like, they were probably at a wedding, 20-something years ago thinking, oh, my kid, it's so long until my kids get married or whatever. And now I'm like, just like this. Everything is so
about having
fast.
kids, man, just really puts life into perspective because you're right. I didn't think about any of that before.
Yeah.
And then,
I think having kids, which if you don't want to have kids, like whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Like you do you. But there's this like having kids that like unlocks something or flips this switch where you realize like how trivial certain things in life are and how things like really don't, like there's certain things in life that you thought were important that you realize are just like not that important.
I would say that, I think you should have kids. And if you don't want to have kids, I think you should at least address or be doing something about why you don't want to have kids. I think it's the purpose of life. Just me personally. I'm not attacking anybody. But if you think the world is too messed up, okay, what are you doing to fix it? Because if you're doing nothing, right, then like lazy. I don't think the world's too messed up, so that's why I'm not doing. Right, I'm not. But if you think something needs to occur, if you think this or that, then cool. Address those. At least be addressing those things. Make the world a better place for other people, so that human race can survive and we don't get replaced by Elon's robots.
Yeah. So Starbucks CEO talks to customers and employees and finds that they have drifted from their overall purpose, and they are kind of talking about rebranding, which is the Starbucks CEO new? Is this a new one? Okay. Yeah. Is he the one from Chipotle? Is that right? Okay, gotcha. Drifted from our core, the super. All right, let's see what he means by that.
All right, Starbucks, I'm going to guess. Starbucks is going to go to some kind of like refillable monthly subscription model where you can just roll through and get your stuff refilled, I bet.
Oh, really? Is that what you're thinking?
That's my guess.
No. He's saying the opposite. He's saying that everything feels very transactional, and he wants to bring the wow back to it. So I feel like they're wanting to go more like they're going to want it to be more like an experience.
Yeah, but I don't think Starbucks
so.
can. I think they're too corporate.
Yeah.
Like when you think corporations.
Yeah.
Like just
Starbucks is like one of the highest.
They are one of them. And I don't know that. Yeah. It's like. I mean, of like things that I imagine are real rigidly run. I mean, I feel like they're above Apple and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since we're talking about rebranding, we're kind of going through like looking at some of our cookie names.
That's right.
That we personally don't feel like there's an issue with them, but we can understand why they would have any kind of pushback. For example, Big Booty Dough, just because it has the word booty in it, we could understand how that could draw like something, even though we don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. So there are some like names we're looking at and moving to. Big Sexy is another one. Sadly, I love that name. I think it's funny for a cookie, but we can see how sexy or sex, just having that word in there.
Yeah, well, you got a product that we, kids love, and we want kids to love, and we want to be a family-friendly product, and, there's just weirdos out there is honestly what it is. It sucks because Big Sexy is just kind of funny. It calls attention. But, like, we've got kind of custom shirts here for the team, and my son's got one. He's got a Big Sexy shirt on, and, like, I don't want any weirdo out there thinking some type of way about that shirt because, And that's unfortunate that that's the world we live in.
All the stuff we just talked about in the world.
Why we're addressing it, but
Yeah, and I think the hardest part for me is, like, when people bring up names of cookies that I in no way meant to be like offensive, and then they're telling me how it's offensive, and I'm just like, I'm not tracking, or like I feel like you're going down.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I don't know all the dirty stuff. If that's a thing, if that's slang for something.
Yeah, so I think we're revisiting some of the cookie names that could potentially, I think, cause a snafu. Some of them, like Pitch Intense, is going to stay Pitch Intense. It is about pitching a tent when you go camping. It is about s'mores. If you don't like that name, then you need to get your head checked. If you can't see how we were going for this camping experience there, I don't know what to tell you, but I can see, like I said, how we need to remove booty from it.
Beaver chewing on wood.
I guess, too, is like, do we need to remove Black Beauty? Because it's like, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's
a horse. It's a novel.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a beautiful horse.
But, I mean, it's
Mary
like,
legs.
Is
that the name of the other
whole
horse?
Like apple of my eye, beautiful. Love this cookie.
Eastman, what's the name of another horse?
Sea Biscuit.
No, from Black Beauty.
Oh,
if you know, comment down below.
the names of, I don't know the names of the horses.
Is it something like Mary Legs?
Names of, it's Mary Legs? Oh, wow.
Is that her mom? It doesn't say. Okay.
What is Mary Legs'
If you know who Black Beauty's mom is, comment down below.
But yeah, so, I think for Adam and I, we, spent a little bit of time with the cookie names, and there's a few that we've kind of addressed. And
and we played with AI, which is always fun. If you guys aren't playing with AI.
Yeah, it's really fun. AI is really what you feed it. So we went really deep into the names we liked, how we chose those names in our branding, and then kind of gave it descriptions and names of cookies that we needed to shift, and it came up with some really funny ones. We kind of tweaked a few of them. I'm really excited about the name for Big
I want to know
Sexy,
the one that's like, hey, dog, make this cookie coin and we'll take over.
Oh, cookie coin?
Yeah, let's get it.
Well, another thing, too, though, is like,
it's not a pump and dump.
Adam and I would like to address names that we feel like are worse than ours real quick. So the Feastable Bars has a peanut butter chocolate bar, and it's called
D's Nuts.
Yeah, and then Ben and Jerry's sells a salted caramel like ice cream, and it's called Caramel Sutra.
Yeah, Caramel Sutra.
Just like Kama Sutra.
So y'all know, we've just kind of gotten a little bit of like, not official pushback, but we've just had some customers that are like, oh, our, customer survey team said maybe to think about the name. And then, of course, they're just like, well, maybe we'll wait. Because we haven't gotten the traction yet, because we're a young brand, because we don't have that brand power of going like, stop, we know what we're doing. We're not Mr. Beast, or whatever. We can't push that type of stuff through just yet. We can't promise that we'll sell or we'll buy it back, which is, I'm sure, the agreements they had. And so we got to bootstrap it, and some of that means revisions. But we came up with some really good revisions. Yeah. So we didn't really concede. We just said, okay, we'll make funnier names and make them more clever.
I really do like the change for Big Booty Dough.
Too.
And I don't think everyone's sold on our Big Sexy name change yet.
I know.
But I like it, and I think it has like a good ring to it.
I think if we characterize it and make a thing off it, I think it can work.
Yeah. So.
Plus, we got to get branding. We got to get going. If we pick something, we got to go.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the final thing to talk about is, the election is coming up. We have like 6 or 7 amendments on our ballot. Have you seen them?
Yes.
So like one of them is on like abortion and things like that. Like one of them's on like hunting. There's one that's on.
Dude, they make these things so confusing.
Yeah, I even went to a website that like tells you like if you vote yes, this is what it means. If you vote no, this is what it means. People that are for it say this. People that are against it say this. So it kind of just is an unbiased like black and white thing. And even after reading them, I was really confused because I understand the for and against, but then I have people saying, well, that's not 100% true.
Right.
Like, I work for FWC and we're into conservation. And if you vote yes on this amendment for the hunting to essentially put hunting as a liberty or like a freedom that's in the Constitution or whatever, then you remove our ability to regulate things and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know why these things are even used.
On like that one specifically, right? Part of me goes, I'm a free American person. I should be able to like respectfully and logically and safely take an animal down and eat it and not waste it and all those things. But then somebody's going to mess that shit up. No,
Right.
You guys can't have nice things for a reason.
Right.
So it sucks, yeah. And then like
and then the Amendment 3, which is on the marijuana, I've been told like it's not really yes or no for legalization, because what you're saying too by saying yes is that you can't grow it, only like this stuff. So you're not actually legalizing marijuana. So
allows medical marijuana treatment centers and other state licensed entities to acquire, cultivate, process, manufacture, sell, and distribute. The vote group,
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that like it's a monopoly bill. It requires companies to be licensed and doesn't discriminate between Florida-based or not Florida-based company. And this amendment's been bankrolled by large corporations that have, big stakes in the game.
Yeah, they're saying 15-year-old will get their hands on marijuana. In fact, I will tell you that you're limiting a parent's ability to teach their children. And one of the tools that it's illegal and will be refuted, it's no longer illegal.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard because, like I said, I don't think that these bills are so long that you would have to like sit there and read them and then probably have a law degree to really dissect them. And I think even if you had a law degree, you may have a hard time sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know which one is the right way to lean here. I know how disruptive marijuana is to alcohol and the pharmaceutical industry. I think given the option, you would find that a lot of people would unwind after work with marijuana instead of alcohol, and that's huge tax issue for everybody involved. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should be a 1v1 replacement, though. I mean,
well, yeah,
but unless you can grow it yourself, in which case it's so easy to grow and cultivate that.
Yeah.
It's about as difficult as growing tomatoes.
Right, and I think the hard part is people think that if you legalize marijuana, like I should be able to grow it, and they're not legalizing. They're really, this bill legalizes for possession and growing for certain individuals.
It's wild how heated all this even is. When I mean, it should be a glaring example of don't let the government take your rights away, because like, who got hurt? Right. Where was the issue? Where was the guy growing a weed plant? And it.
Well, that was all because
that
was all the hemp versus cotton industry originally. Oh,
sure,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
But also, what about this half-cent tax? Have you seen that? Like all these signs saying "vote yes" to bring back the half-cent tax.
Yeah,
they're all over the road, and I'm like, did the city put those out? Because I don't know anybody that wants to pay more taxes. Yeah. But like a lot of people are saying you need to vote yes because it brings in so much money, and if you don't vote yes on this half-cent sales tax and all this stuff, so I don't know. There's a lot for you to digest before this election.
Yeah, I usually vote no on taxes.
Yeah.
I'm very charitable.
Oh, the other one is
personal money if I get to
the
keep
other
it.
one is allowing homestead to have inflation. Because like most of the homestead, for example, I don't know what it is in Florida, but in Texas, whatever your disability was from the military, you got like, let's say $25,000 off of your property tax. But they had been that way since 1970. So $25,000 off your property tax in 1970 was a good chunk.
Yeah.
But in 2020,
right.
It's nothing.
Right.
And so what they're trying to say now is that instead of it just being a set $25,000 off, it would go up with inflation. So, which I'm fine with that. People are complaining that the city's not getting as much money off your property tax. I'm like, well, city just needs to use their money better. You know.
Yeah, I'm in full favor of the city using their money better and not taxing their citizens.
Right. So Again, I'll probably vote yes on that one because I believe that unless you're going to ratify the exemption every year to have a value that increases, like what's the perk?
Property taxes go up every year,
right?
Or whenever they want them to. So
right, the value of your property goes up, so my value of my so anyway.
Sounds like a
slam
good
dunk.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today. You got any fan weird updates? I mean, we haven't really talked. We're officially busted through the storefront, and it's now in ingredient storage as of last week.
Yeah, we just hammered down processes and systems. Everything's been flowing smoothly. Getting a lot of cookies out, and
we actually have
getting this stuff set up with distribution. I guess
we're down 4 or 5 people today.
Yeah,
and we're still
fine,
busting along.
That's right.
Cruising. So yeah, that's been good. Yeah, distribution has been hard. It's interesting to, there's just a lot of fees associated with stuff. And I wish I could be really transparent with you guys about it, but like, I'm not even sure about a lot of these fees, but long story short, I mean,
they looked at us today and basically were like, are you sure you can afford to do business with us?
Yeah.
And it was like, we would like to make sure if you could send along all your information, please. Yeah. We'd like to check it. I mean, yeah, guys, it's expensive. We're doing big stuff. We're really taking over. I mean, we've got the road to 10,000 stores going.
Yeah.
So we're documenting more of that. Episode 1 should be coming out here shortly, not long after this comes out, definitely. And you guys can follow along over there on the Fat and Weird page. Definitely love that. We're pushing to get into 10,000 stores as fast as possible. Christian's helping, so you guys will see some stuff from him. He was on episode 3 or something of this.
Yeah.
And I
think he's got an update because I think we are going to be breaking our goal. Well, I mean, our goal was 400 by the end of the month, and I think we definitely are going to do that with an account he's about to have spun up. So
fun times.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, yeah, that's it from us today. We'll see you guys next week. You're worth it. Do hard shit.